Yo, ain't that a bitch? This whole internet doesn't forget thing, because December 4th, just a mere what? A little better than, or just a little bit over 10 months ago, Joe Biden says he won't mandate getting COVID-19 vaccine or wearing masks. No, okay. That's weird, right? Because President-elect Joe Biden on Friday said that he wouldn't impose national mask mandates or vaccinated, for COVID-19 or wear a mask, but Biden said he would encourage people to voluntarily do both. Voluntarily, huh? Well, this came out yesterday. Okay. White House signals new COVID-19 measures coming for people who are unvaccinated. Jeez, it was so weird there. Just making the transition over to this article right here. It just really puts you in a mind frame of how different the world was just even in the tumultuous year of 2020. And it's gotten worse, but different kind of worse than even was forecasted at the time, because this story is just a couple of hours old at this point and it's already outdated. So we'll just give you a little bit of the background. Ahead of President Joe Biden's announcement Thursday that new COVID-19 measures are, imminent and right now, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, and we'll get to what this cunt had to say as well, said that there may be new measures that will be imposed on unvaccinated people, because now they're just openly us versus them, and talking incredibly disparagingly about unvaccinated people, using rhetoric that we haven't seen openly by government officials since, well, honestly, let's just drop the pretense. Last time we heard this type of stuff, it was from Hitler and the Nazis. This is what they're doing now. They're trying to run camps and they're trying to take control. It's the plain and fucking simple at this point, okay? I regret saying anything bad about maybe not drawing the illusions when Gina Carano posted her meme about unvaccinated and vaccinated people in, what was that, November? Thought that maybe it might have been a little bit strong, but she definitely had the right to say it. But now we're just here, okay? Hey, thick MMA fighter was 100% spot on. Go figure. There are 6 steps the president's announcing, and there will be components, Psaki told reporters on Wednesday. Some of that will be related to access to testing. Some will be related to mandates. Some will be related to how we ensure kids will be protected in schools. It's all under the guise of public safety, right? But just tuck that testing little aspect right in your back pocket. When asked about the new steps and how they would affect Americans' lives, Psaki said, "That depends if you're vaccinated or not." Ugh, fucking treacherous bitch. Psaki provided a few details on what the mandates could be imposed on unvaccinated Americans. Oh, we already know what they're going to be, because this was just a couple hours old, because, hey, this was the first story that dropped here today. Biden mandates COVID-19 vaccines for federal workers. Remember, it just started with, healthcare workers, because you know what? Hey, they're on the front lines and you don't want to be catching anything from a doctor or a nurse or a pencil pusher at a hospital. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's a little bit weird. And then it was, the Veteran Affairs Department, right? It's like, you're dealing with people who are immunocompromised. So, okay, maybe that makes sense. Remember, none of these are in defense of this. You guys know my stance on this very, very well. And just for clarity's sake, if you want to get it, fine. Just don't tell anybody else what they have to do with their body. Their body, their choice, right? And then it was all military personnel. And it's like, okay, that seems a little bit overreaching. And then it was the entirety of the Veteran Affairs Department. And then they were talking about maybe mandating all federal workers. And here we are today. But unfortunately, the roller coaster hasn't quite reached its apex yet. We'll save that for next. But if you've seen the thumbnail, you already know. President Biden on Thursday mandated federal workers get a COVID-19 vaccine. The new executive order removes the options for workers and contractors to choose not to get vaccinated. No exemptions allowed. Either get the fucking poke or you just don't have a job. The White House said in a document that Biden had signed the order. The text of the order has not yet been released, but just listen and believe. Follow the science. Other fucking empty vagatories. The mandate will have limited exceptions for legally recognized reasons such as disability or religious objections. Limited exemptions, huh? Well, we've already seen religious objections, not be tolerated. NFL, just take a look at that. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters in Washington, because she didn't stick around for any questions or anything, just like her boss, because we'll get to what Biden actually had to say once he hopped up on the podium. But yeah, Psaki walked away from the podium while a reporter asked, and there's no audio to this, and even so, you can still say. So a reporter was asking, what happened to my body, my choice when it comes to vaccinations in the Biden administration? She fucking packs up and walks the fuck out without answering any questions. Remember, guys, most open, honest, and transparent government administration of all time. Lies, 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 lies. Just like 10 fucking months ago. Remember, won't mandate anything. The mandate, oh, that's weird, will have jurisdiction over several million employees and approximately 75 days to become fully vaccinated. So, by Thanksgiving, be thankful we don't take any more freedoms from you. If a federal worker fails to comply, they will go through the standard human resources process. Great. Weaponizing the human resources department. It's almost like smart people have been warning against that for a long time, but hey, guess what? All of their plans are coming to a head with this one. If given enough time, if given access to all the fucking controls, this is what they do, which includes counseling. And, oh, good, so they can send you to reprogramming. How delightful. And face disciplinary actions. Yep, all of that backroom talk about it's time to remove the carrot and start using the stick. Well, fix it to your chair, fuckers. Face progressive disciplinary action. That's what we're all living under right now. Each agency is going to work with employees to make sure they understand the benefits of the vaccination. Don't ask any questions about it. This is real life. This isn't a fiction book. This is something that is happening right now. And how the vaccines are free, easy, and widely accessible, and 100% safe. Don't worry about it. Don't ask any questions. Just get the fucking jab. But it will start to be applied once the executive order is signed. Biden previously mandated COVID-19 vaccinations, but allowed workers who did not wanted to remain unvaccinated. However, those workers and contractors were required to wear masks, get tested regularly for the virus, and social distance. Well, those days are over, but you might think to yourself, you live in a neighborhood with fucking hillbillies that just race their motorcycles up and down the fucking cul-de-sac. No. I don't work for the federal government. Okay, this doesn't affect me at all. I don't have any government contracts or anything. Well, don't worry. Biden came up there and actually, you know what, took on the heavy lifting for today. Not like he answered any questions. No. He ducked and ran as well because it's over now. But if you work in a company, if you work in an organization, and thanks to the COOF, there's a good chance that you probably work for one of the big conglomerates because everything else was fucking closed down. 60% of small businesses were Thanos snapped out of fucking existence. Any business with over 100 employees, and why 100 employees? Don't know. Don't fucking know. That doesn't make any sense because, hey, remember how this all started? It was, just healthcare workers. Now it's what? Just 100 people? Is that per place? Is that per business that are there? No, that's for everybody employed by the same place. So if, hey, you had a small electronic shop and then that was forced to close and they had to go get a job at Best Buy, and guess what? Vaccine mandate. You had a small, bodega, and you had to get a job bagging groceries at fucking Safeway. Well, guess what? 100 people work there. Starting to understand why the lockdowns went on for so long and why all of this stuff is happening so fucking quickly. Makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? And the way that this is worded, and again, we don't have any text, we just know that this is going to be the rule of the day, but there's also, hope at the end of this, because, looking at this and what Biden's trying to use to justify this doesn't really seem, and this is just according to lawyers out there, so take that with a grain of salt, but it is the likes of, Robert Barnes and Harmeet Dillon, so at least have a little bit of faith in that one. This shit is gonna fall before its first couple of lawsuits. Don't really get too terribly scared by this, but the fact that they're trying and the fact that they're going to use this to once again just proclaim that they don't control the courts, ergo here comes our court packing strategy in a couple of weeks. I've been talking about it a lot, and I'm going to keep talking about it because there's more topics that I want to cover today and in the coming days, which is just going to be more justification to pack the courts because, hey, there's one aspect that Democrats don't control fully. That's the Supreme Court right now, or the local courts. or their appeals courts. Because, hey, if you can't win hearts and minds with your policy, you can just force them to do stuff and mandate it. President Joe Biden will direct the Department of Labor to develop a rule that companies with more than 100 employees will require vaccinations or once per week testing for their workers, potentially impacting tens of millions of U.S. private sector employees. Doesn't that sound like an overreach? Certainly does. According to the White House fact sheet, the administration's rule will require that all employers with 100 or more employees to ensure their workforce is fully vaccinated or require any workers who remain unvaccinated to produce a negative test result at least a weekly basis before coming to work. You will own nothing and you will love it, which will impact more than 80 million workers in the private sector. The Department of Labor's Occupational Safety, yes, the OSHA regulations, will issue an emergency temporary standard. It's always just an emergency, and it's always temporary, right? There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government solution to implement the requirement, the document said, and did not make any mentions regarding religious exemptions or individuals, but we all know that those are properly adhered to. Biden will further sign an executive order requiring most federal employees and contractors to get a COVID-19 vaccine without the option of getting regular testing, according to the document. Federal worker unions suggested on Thursday they would accept a vaccine mandate. Yeah, because they're all in bed with one another.
As part of this effort, the Department of Defense, Veterans Affairs, Indian Health Services, and National Institute of Health will complete implementation of the previously announced vaccination requirements to cover 2.5 million people.
Care of the party. The new measures, which Biden was slated to describe at remarks at 5 p.m. Eastern, are being unveiled as part of a more aggressive attempt to push for vaccines. Let's get to some of those statements that Biden made because, regardless, because the fucking edicts are not going to stick, but the fact that they're trying is really repugnant. But the phrasing that they're using, I don't know if anybody's, picked up a book and, read any kind of history about how you want to, begin the eradication of certain groups of people out there. Take note. You might see something. You might learn something. Telling unvaccinated Americans, your refusal has cost us all. President Biden on Thursday mandated that 2/3 of all U.S. workers get COVID-19 vaccines, with far-reaching new rules for businesses and federal workers as cases surge, saying the Delta variant of the virus is fueling a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Okay, your refusal, it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Biden said the Labor Department will force businesses of over 100 workers. Yes, we know that already. This is not about freedom or personal choice. Biden said. So if you voted for Biden and you're hearing this message, if you voted for Biden because you were tired of mean tweets, realize what you just condemned everybody else to. It's about protecting yourself and those around you. Not my concern. The people who you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. We cannot allow these actions to stand in the way of protecting the large majority of Americans who have done their part, who want to get back to life as normal. How about stop with the fancy background? How about stop with the genocidal rhetoric? Pretty fucking easy to go back to normal. No more mandates. No more regulations. But you won't. You won't do that. Because you have everybody scared. You have everybody facing off, squaring off against one another. And the more that they're bickering amongst one another, the more shit you can do behind the auspices of that division. This is the worst president ever. Carter didn't do anything remotely close to this. So he has all of the scandals and he has all of the failures of the Jimmy Carter administration on top of just taking pointers from Hitler's table talk. Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated, even though the vaccine is safe, effective, and free. Listen, we keep telling you that it's safe, effective, and free. Why isn't our programming working on you? A distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. Okay. And your refusal has cost all of us. President avoided using the word mandate, but instead used the term requirement because compliance seems to focus test a little bit better if you use requirement instead of mandate. Biden also took thinly veiled swipes at Governor Ron DeSantis because he sees him as a threat, who has banned Florida school districts from forcing students to wear masks, and he referred to Florida hospitals ordering mobile morgues to hold the corpses of the largely unvaccinated virus victims. What? Oh my god. This motherfucker's lost it. This is his beer hall speech. A local school official. I'm not even going to do the fucking impression at this point. Fuck him and fuck the lot of these people who want to keep pushing this stuff. Local school officials are trying to keep children safe in a pandemic. Your pandemic. A pandemic of the bureaucrats. While their governor picks a fight with them and even threatens their salaries or their jobs. Oh, really? That's fucking cute, considering you're doing actually what you're projecting onto Ron DeSantis. But that's cute. That's cute. Talk about bullying in schools. If they'll not help, if these governors won't help us beat this pandemic, we'll use my powers as president to get the... Oh, cool. So, full-blown fucking tyrant right there. We'll use my powers as the president to get them out of the way. How else do you describe that? Point to me one fucking speech that Trump did that was anywhere near this. But he was painted as fucking Cheeto dictator. But here you got old cozy, old Uncle Joe. He's just out here. He's just making sure that everybody's staying safe. He said the education department will pay the salaries of teachers and cover the lost funding of school districts who impose mask mandates. Yeah, and he's got the judges on his side in Florida who have flipped Ron DeSantis' executive order banning mask mandates. Not telling you, okay, not mandating that you can't wear a mask in school if you fucking want to do that. But no... Ron's the tyrant, right? Biden said the Transportation Security Administration, meanwhile, would double fines for passengers who refuse to wear masks. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. By the way, show some respect. Yeah? Ain't that fucking cute? In a speech, Biden said that we must increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated. No, really? Because you can't double vaccinate people? With new vaccination requirements, saying unvaccinated people are clogging hospitals, dying, and infecting others. Can you point to anything out there? According to CDC data, 75.3% of U.S. adults have had at least one coronavirus vaccine shot, but vaccination rates vary among states, and the national infection rate is as high as it was in late January when few Americans were vaccinated. Okay, then, why is that? Is it just everybody who's unvaccinated is getting sick? I would find that to be fucking hard to believe, but hey, it's safe and secure and wonderful. Old man told us. Vast majority of Americans are doing the right thing. At least 3/4 of the eligible have gotten at least one shot. 1/4 haven't gotten any. Very good, Joe. You can do basic math. 25% of us cause a lot of damage, and they are. I can't believe it. Any reasonable human being would make this fucking speech. This is something you would expect coming out of the fucking Chinese Communist Party. Well, considering they pay for and finance this entire fucking debacle, that makes a lot of sense. At least 3/4 of the eligible have gotten at least one shot, and 1/4 haven't gotten any. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals and are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive healthcare units. Please tell us more about people overdosing on horse dewormer as well, because I'm sure you also believe that stupid shit, you fucking geriatric cunt. Leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatic cancer. Oh yeah, really? Really? Biden said the vaccine hesitant are what, too stupid? Oh, might be confused about what is true. Says the man who gets confused by the sunrise every morning. But that, based on available data from the summer, only 1 out of every 160,000 fully vaccinated American was hospitalized for COVID per day. Why are case numbers at the same level they were during the biggest spike that there's been so far during this never-ending fucking season? Riddle me that. If 75% of people have at least partially gotten the fucking jab, just go ahead and fill in the blanks for me. Biden added, don't take it from me. I try not to. Listen to the voices of unvaccinated Americans who are lying in hospital beds. Oh, that you put there, that you keep telling us that are, oh, they're just seemingly healthy. This 350-pound man just lying there with no underlying health conditions. Fucking don't believe your lying eyes. Don't have to take it from me. You can listen to those fucking obvious false flag plants that are there, and CNN's running their fucking story. Oh my God, making their final breath saying, wow, they can get an awful lot out in their final breath if I've only gotten vaccinated. If only. I wish that was from Biden just lying there. But that wouldn't really help anything because everybody else, the people who wrote this speech and the people who are drawing up these fucking plans, they're just as bad, if not worse, because they actually have a brain between their fucking ears, unlike this mushed-mouthed, mushed-brained idiot. It's a tragedy. Please don't let it become yours. Yeah, but don't talk about anybody who's experienced bad side effects from certain things, though. Yeah, right? That's not a tragedy, though. Just get the jab. New rules may be stalled or modified by litigation. You fucking well better believe it will. So the response to this has been pretty quick by the private sector. I just don't even know what to fucking comment on at this point. This is so fucking ridiculous. Just, when are we going to wake up from this fucking bad dream? United Airlines staff will with vaccine exemptions told they'd be placed on unpaid leave. So they'd be fired, but if you just get the jab, then you can come back in and be subject to more regulations. And thanks for bending the knee. We know how far we can push you and what we need to do in order to make you submit. United Airlines employees who are granted a medical or religious exemption have been informed that they'll be automatically placed on unpaid leave. How is that legal? In memorandums to workers who have applied for the exemption to United's COVID-19 mandate, workers were told they must become fully vaccinated against COVID-19 within 5 weeks, or their submission is denied, or they will be separated from the company. More uniting language, right? Remember, this was all supposed to be, this entire administration, all of their policies was all supposed to be part of unity and healing. You'll be separated from the company if you decide to think for yourself. Hey, and don't worry about trying to get another job. Job postings with COVID-19 vaccine requirements sharply rose in August. So now they're just openly violating your right to medical privacy. If you do want to leave your job, or you get forced to leave your job because you aren't going to get jabbed. But remember, guys, it's not a mandate. It's just a requirement, because that sounds nicer. I don't know what to say, really. They're liars, they're tyrants, and they're talking in genocidal terms. I know what comes next. I'm a student of history. I never, ever thought I would hear this speech today. But I'll tell you what, if this gives you an inkling, if you have something that's telling you that this ain't fucking right, listen to that. Because it's not wrong, and you're not the only person feeling that. There's a lot of people out there that, if they hear this, I don't know if they will, but I'd imagine the fucking spin is going to be out of control at this point by the mainstream media, and that's where most people get their fucking information. They only see the headlines, and they don't go to the New York Post. Where do they go? Everybody just rips off the AP, everybody just rips off the fucking New York Times, the Washington Post, and it's all just, vaccines are, a new requirement is being dropped by Biden's administration. And everybody will just go into work one day and realize, oh fuck, there's tents outside and everybody has a needle sticking out of their arm. What am I going to do? Well, thanks to your apathy, that's what we have right now. Don't give in. If we got to do something about this, I got nothing. I literally don't have anything to fucking lose. So I'm not giving up on this, because this is far too fucking important. And yeah, this is only happening in the United States. It's only because in Canada they're going through an election right now, which we'll touch on at the end of the day. But it's in more places around the world. Look at Australia. Look at fucking Australia. Look at New Zealand. Look at the UK. Look at France. Look at Germany. Look at Italy. Look at all these other fucking places around the world. If you think that, this is just going to be in the United States if you're Canadian, tough shit. Couple weeks time, we got that fucking election on the 20th. And then right after that, how do you think that this isn't going to be happening? We already got the federal fucking workers mandate. So if this is successful, if somebody doesn't fight back against this in the legal realm, which I know there's going to be plenty of them. The fact that they keep trying this kind of stuff, these are the acts of desperate, dangerous people. These are the bullies. These are the people that are putting you at risk because, right now, it's just the coof. It's just the coof. You've been told how dangerous and evil and awful it is and that there'd be freezers just full of dead people from it. Well, I look outside. You can look outside too. Yeah, I don't see any fucking bodies lying in the street. But don't worry, the next thing will come. Because we've seen a couple days ago, hey, they're funding all of this gain-of-function research, so they know what's next on the horizon, how much more they got to crank up the fucking temperature to see how many people will just capitulate further and further. I ain't giving up. You're goddamn sure I'm going to keep fucking covering this as long as I have some sort of fucking outlet to vent. But that whole 100 workers thing really scares me when it comes to the fucking platform thing. Are we going to approach the point? Because we've seen it with Rutgers. We've seen it with Rutgers getting rid of that kid for online learning because he didn't have the poke. Wouldn't be going to campus, okay? Online fucking learning. Now vaccinated, you don't get to come online. Guess what? Could that be coming to somewhere else, huh? What does the term workers mean? Somebody who signs up and it's just a part of the terms of service going forward? Might sound fucking crazy. A couple months ago, that might have sounded crazy, but hey, don't worry about it. A couple months ago, Biden said he wouldn't mandate anything. Now they're just recommendations. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.